spirit guides exist? If so, would you like to connect with them? Well, you're on the verge of finding out, so stay tuned. Welcome to Cosmic Verge. I'm Evelyn Baier, and I am a certified intuitive life coach, psychic medium, and an author. And today's discussion is about spirit guides. Are these beings real or just a figment of our imagination? I began experiencing mine at the age of 5, and I would often hear them whisper my name as if they were testing me to see if I could hear them. The next most impressive connection was at the age of 19, when I woke up to a blue glowing outline of a man standing over my bed that appeared to be from the medieval period. This apparition turned out to be my guide Perseus. Shortly after that, I began to see my other guide Lucy. So as the years progressed, they gradually showed up in my dreams, and that is until I became more disciplined with my meditations. Spirit guides do exist, and one of the ways they will work with you is through synchronicity. And what I mean by synchronicity is that they will often work with you in perfect time while never disrupting a millisecond of your life or even a strand of hair on your head, which is one of the reasons why they often go unnoticed. If you haven't become acquainted with them yet, don't worry. They're familiar with you because they've been around you since birth. And, well, that is unless they are your creativity guides or temporary guides, but more on that later. So, who are these guides? Well, they can be people you knew from a past life, a friend, a family member, or even a love relationship. But they can also be assigned to you without that personal connection. And regardless of their origin, they don't make decisions for you or tell you how to live your life. However, they will give you subtle signs to help you along, and sometimes not so subtle signs, especially if you're headed down the wrong path. The bottom line is, you need to pay attention to the teeniest of signs, even if you can't hear your guides. So I can hear mine, but I still pay attention to the subtle signs given, and so should you. Here are a few examples of these signs. Okay, you're on your way to the mall to purchase a pair of shoes, and additionally, you end up with a flat tire in the parking lot, only to find out later that you dodged a 10-car pileup on the highway, or you apply for a position, and at the beginning of the company's Zoom chat meeting, the sound cuts out and your entire presentation is washed up. And that actually happened to me once. But all is not lost because you land the job of your dreams shortly after your so-called misfortune. You kind of get the picture, right? And what about that little voice in your head heeding a warning? Well, some of it may just be your higher power giving you a nudge, but I'm willing to bet that most of the time it's your guide steering you from a bad circumstance, and possibly because your karma or dharma aren't going to acquire anything good from it. Okay, so how do you connect with these guides? Well, the good news is you don't need to be a psychic medium to connect with them, but you do need to connect with your higher self first. That's right. You need to connect with yourself first. And the reason for this is very clear. You won't be able to connect with your guides unless you connect with self. So how can this be achieved? Well, grounding is exceptionally important because it helps to protect and stabilize. But it can also help you connect with your higher self. So here are some grounding or earthing exercises. Walking barefoot across the sand is one. You can walk across the gravel, soil, soft moss, or the grass. And this is all grounding. And it's also known as forest bathing. And you may also walk barefoot across the tile, brick, or cement. So sitting by a lake, ocean, stream, river, or waterfall is also grounding. And keep in mind that any running water will have similar effects. Okay, so after you have grounded and connected with self, it's time to connect with your guides and you can do a guided meditation to help this connection, or just sit quietly with your eyes closed. And a 30-minute meditation is usually the normal practice, but 15 minutes will suffice. But before you do this, envision tree roots extending from the soles of your feet and plunging into the core of the earth. Also ask for the universal white light of protection to fill and surround you and surround your space. And prior to this, you may also purify your space by burning sage or incense. Next, find a comfortable position, and I prefer sitting to lying down because falling asleep is likely to occur if I am in a supine position. But you just do you. Whatever is comfortable is key. Next, you close your eyes, you take a few deep breaths, and you ask your guides to come into your space. Remember to relax and stay in the moment and take note of your experience. What do you see? What do you hear? What are you sensing? Are you receiving thoughts or ideas? Are you sensing a presence? If you're sensing a presence, you may be clairsentient or clear feeling. Are you perceiving images or colors? I tend to see vivid chartreuse and violet when I connect with my guides during my meditations. For me, this is a full-on sign that I'm making the connection. So if you are seeing something or someone, pay close attention. You may be clairvoyant or clear seeing. Are you hearing words or music? If so, you may be clairaudient or clear hearing. When you are finished with your meditation, remember to write it down. And the more meditations you do, the more practice you will be, and the more connected you will be to your spirit guides. I mean, that's a win-win situation just right there. So you can also connect with your guides by using oracle cards, tarot, or a pendulum. Just remember to practice the same grounding and practice rituals that I mentioned before. Your guides may answer your questions through the movement of a pendulum, and that would be for yes and no questions. It would be clockwise for yes, counterclockwise for no, and side to side for maybe. They can also give you answers through the cards. Oracle cards can communicate a message or tell a story. Another favorite trick of mine is with my tarot. I ask for specific cards to appear as yes and no questions. Don't be afraid to try these methods out. They really do work. Now that we discuss grounding and connecting, let's talk about the different types of guides that exist. Spirit guides or personal guides are otherwise known as light beings. Ascended masters or master guides. These guides are at the top of the chain, and not that your guides are less than, because your guides are also important, but master guides work with you before and during each embodiment, meaning reincarnation. So unlike your guides who stay close at all times, they will keep a close eye on you from afar. And although they tend to keep to themselves, my master guides will occasionally make themselves known to me. I've connected with them through meditations, apparitions, and dreams, and I also sense them when they're in the room with me. There are also helper guides or creation guides to help manifest your creativity. You may also find working with ancestral guides to be more comfortable because of the connection of the distant bloodlines. If so, you can call them in through a meditation. Next, we have temporary guides that step in when needed. And last but not least, elemental guides of the four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. And speaking of fire, I saw an elemental spirit in a dream that emerged from a fire as a beautiful violet and silver phoenix. It was absolutely amazing, and also proof elemental spirits or spirit guides do exist. So here's a quick recap. Be sure to connect with yourself through various grounding exercises, such as walking barefoot or sitting by running water. Ask for the universal white light of protection prior to any meditation or practice, and practice meditation, whether it be guided or self-guided. And Don't be afraid to utilize various forms of divination to receive the information that you would like from your guides. And lastly, be sure to document whatever comes to you. So that's it for today. If this is your first time tuning in, be sure to subscribe. And if you're interested in learning more about personal transformation through divination, click on the link below.